We're trying Burger King's newest burger.
Welcome to Good Mythical More.
One of the things I love about this show that we make is that you know how I am already. I drive past a fast food establishment, I see a sign for a new thing, and I'm always wanting the new thing.
Veering in.
I have more than a couple of times in my life, as I've discussed on this show,
Struck a pedestrian.
been watching a commercial for you're the one who's almost struck a pedestrian who ended up being a fan who DM'd us later on Instagram.
Well, that's true.
That's a story for another time. But I will see the sign or I will see the commercial while I'm at home and I will get in the car and go get it. I don't do that anymore. I'm 48 years old and I try not to just respond to ads and go buy junk food, okay? I try not to do that.
But if it's brought to us.
But this is just so easy.
You gotta try it.
So easy.
So, Burger King, they launched a Whopper by You platform and marketing campaign. They're not a sponsor of this, by the way. We're just interested in what they got going on. So people were submitting their designs for a new Whopper.
This is the thing a lot of brands are doing.
A lot of brands are doing.
It's like, let's get our fans to come up with an idea because after all, they're the ones eating the burgers.
This is the third one. And what's it called?
This is the Ultimate Steakhouse Whopper. So you've got the burger, of course, which is served on a toasted sesame seed bun and stacked with golden onion rings, crispy bacon, sauteed mushrooms, melty Swiss cheese, and creamy creamy peppercorn aioli. So it's the kind of stuff that you would put as a topper on a steak.
That's juicy stuff.
But I think that the burger is just a regular burger, right? It's flame grilled beef, but that's what a regular burger is.
That's the norm. And why do we have pies here? Because they suggest that a warm cinnamon apple pie is the ideal complement to this Whopper by You order.
And I will say that as much as I like to try the new thing, at least 50% of the time, you like a knife? At least 50% of the time I'm like, I probably should have gotten the thing that I knew I wanted. Even a guy who likes to try new things.
See, but that's part of the genius of the marketing is that they bring you in to try the thing instead of going somewhere else because you're intrigued. And then you're reminded, if you don't like it more, at least you're reminded, I like their other thing better. And then that's basically a reason to come back again and just get that thing. So they got you twice. And then they discontinued the thing because mission accomplished. They got you.
They got you, and then you're back.
So how long will this be around? Let's eat and decide. Lots of mushrooms, that's, I
like that.
They're not for everybody. When I get a steak, I don't put mushrooms on it. Christy does. Does that mean you do? Because you guys share the same palate? Not literally.
Well, Christy does something else with her steak.
She coats it in A1 sauce.
She puts A1 sauce on it. Don't do that. You know when you go to a steakhouse and they have the optional toppers? Mm-hmm. I always find that I just end up thinking, I shouldn't have put this on there. But I love mushrooms and I love sauteed mushrooms, but I just like to eat them.
I went to a steakhouse the other night and the options were dressed or nude. Is that standard? Is that
Never
the standard way that you say that? Dressed or nude?
I wouldn't say it that way.
I was with someone at the table that read it out loud and goes nude and like laughed. She's a very loud friend. I felt a little embarrassed.
Good sense of humor.
Was it also a strip club?
No, but that's a great idea. I've never had food at a strip club though.
I hear there's great chicken wings.
I've been told that.
I don't understand it.
But I haven't seen them myself.
Wings make you horny?
Let's eat. Well, you've already eaten half of it. Why don't?
That's
before,
2 bites.
Before you eat all of it, why don't we talk about what it's like to eat it?
I had to I had to really experience it. And I think this is pretty good. Like, it's that creamy. What is the creamy sauce? That's good.
Aioli
the melty Swiss cheese and the creamy peppercorn aioli. This is pretty legit.
And the fried onion rings are good. I could do without the mushrooms, but they are marinated.
I feel like the mushrooms make the full taste.
They're the sauteed mushrooms, they have this marinated quality.
This would have really drawn us in back in the day when we worked in that basement in Lillington. which occasionally some of you mythical beasts will make a pilgrimage to, and sometimes the people will go in somehow.
Because the door was open.
Yeah.
When we went, it was open too.
And I drove through Lillington recently.
We would eat there at least once a week. Not many choices.
So when we were in Lillington working, so you had a Hardee's, which is a Carl's Jr. You had a McDonald's and a Subway that were down on this side of town. And then you had a Burger King that was way out there. And then you had like the home cooking place, BJ's.
Yeah.
We didn't like to go to BJ's too often. We didn't need too many BJ's, too much BJ's. And but we would go to Burger King, probably weekly. So anytime they had something new like this, like the rodeo cheeseburger, I remember when the rodeo cheeseburger came around.
I was big into that.
That got me going for a full month.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that just had those little onion rings on it.
And barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce.
This is good. ain't no two ways around it. It's saucy. The thing about going to that Burger King, I remember, was you get hung up in the parking lot seeing somebody. Everybody wanted to say a little something to us. And not because we were famous, just because
we were local boys.
Everybody talked to everybody in the parking lot. So somebody be leaving, somebody be going in. How you boys doing? Well, we're kind of in a hurry. We need to eat. We need to get back to work.
Get in and out.
We always felt like we needed to hurry and get back to work.
Yeah.
And everybody just wanted to talk. Small town life. Everybody wanted to talk in the Burger King parking lot.
Have you noticed that this has happened though?
Now I miss it.
Well, the thing that has changed for me, so this March I will have been in LA for 15 years, which is crazy to think about. But the thing Jesse and I have been talking about over the past few years is that we will go to an event, we'll go to someplace, anywhere in town, and like the chances that we run into somebody that we know in a sort of like, I know people in this town type way is so different than it was when we first got here. Like there's a sense that when you get here that this town is so big, everybody's a stranger, no one talks to each other. But have you noticed this phenomenon?
Yeah, I think if you live in one place for a decade, and if you're raising kids in that environment, especially, you start to become more community oriented. Now, I'm not volunteering for a PTA, don't get me wrong, but you see people. I know them. I'm going to walk the other way so we don't have to get in a conversation.
Really? It depends on how you know them.
Exactly. Some people
some people you don't want to see.
Some people you don't want to talk to.
But a lot of people you do want to talk to.
Oh yeah, there's people I want to talk to. I walk my dog, people will be driving up the street, neighborhood neighbors, stop, roll down the window, stop traffic, having quite a conversation.
You'll stop or they'll stop. You're walking the dog. They'll stop?
Yeah, they'll stop in the car, roll the window down.
That's not safe.
I'll talk to people. Yeah, I'm a community man. I'm a community man.
Have you ever done anything about a pothole?
No, but did I tell you about the landscaping that I had to do on my walk?
On your walk?
Yeah.
No. Have you had the apple pie yet?
I'm going up the hill, and the traffic, I'm on the right side because I have to be. There's no sidewalks at this point. And there's the person who lives right there, their stuff is just grown all out, and I have to walk out into the road. So I said, well, I'm coming back the next day, and I'm bringing my shears with me. And I brought my...
Are they on your road?
They're on the main road, not my side road. I walk down my road, and then I take a right, go on the main drag. And on the main drag, at a precarious point where I feel like my dogs are going to get run over by people, I have to get further out in the road. So I came back with my clippers.
Just you and the clippers, or you the clippers and the dog?
Yep, but still both dogs. And I put a big rock on their leash, and I set them to the side, and the rock held them, and I just started chopping the things because somebody's got to do this. And
no conversation beforehand, though.
With who?
The person who grows the bushes.
Well, they have a fence. They have all of these bushes and stuff, and then they have a fence, and then they have their house. And
you're saying it was a public access situation. It's the kind of thing that maybe the city would have done it anyway.
They should have done it, but they didn't. The homeowner should have done it because it was theirs. but the city could have come in and done it.
How long were you there?
I was kind of like the city.
Manual.
I was there long enough for a neighborhood friend of mine to leave and take his kid to school.
And come back?
And then when he came back, I was still there because that's when he stopped and said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm doing a little landscaping because I can't walk on the side of the road." And I probably had a pile of stuff. If I put it on this table, you wouldn't be able to see us.
Where'd you put the pile? On top of the rock holding the dogs down?
Right next to that on the corner of their property.
So they're going to notice.
So that they would know.
When did they do this?
I did it at the beginning of December. So
No word yet.
no retribution.
I mean, I think if they saw it, they would just assume that the city did it. They might be like, why didn't they take the trimmings? But
As a message to them that this should have been there.
when your vegetation grows out into the thoroughfare, it becomes the public's responsibility.
Well, yeah, because you can also pick fruit if it
You can
hangs
pick fruit.
over.
Yeah. Because we had
You pick fruit if it hangs over.
an orange tree.
If it hangs over.
Well, this is a little bit of a gray area because
Yeah.
I had an orange tree back when we our previous home that went out over a fence, and then there was a little bit more yard, and then there was the street, and then there was a park. And so a lot of people saw those oranges, and I didn't really care because the only people really eating the oranges were the rats that were getting into the tree, eating the oranges, and then going on the roof, and then going into our home. In our roof, and I would hear them at night, and I thought there were squirrels having a party, but it was rats having a party.
Yeah.
And people would be in our yard, come up on the curb, get into our yard, but they would be on the other side of the fence. And it always made me feel like if I was the kind of guy that said something about these things, I would say something, but I just wouldn't say anything.
I mean, I don't know what I would have said if the guy came up to me and said, "Why are you trimming my stuff back?" Well, I guess I know what I would say. I'd say, "Well, I don't want to walk in the street, and I thought I was doing you a favor." But people don't like it when you touch their stuff without asking.
Well,
permission.
trimming someone else's bush, I think, is different than grabbing someone's lemons.
That's right. And that's not a euphemism for anything.
No.
It is another level. It had to be done though.
There's a tree in my neighborhood that's on. I see what you're saying, right? Because it's a very fine line. Because this tree is grabbable by street, but there is a newly minted sign on the tree
Oh, no.
that says, "Don't touch my lemons. These are my lemons."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It says
Okay.
don't. How does it say
It says, please don't take lemons.
I wonder why. Why did that? I mean, people like their stuff.
Some people use all of the fruit. Some people use the fruit. They
But
give-
but there's also
maybe.
quite a few people in the neighborhood that have like a little a box or a basket that's filled with their citrus or whatever, and then there's a little sign
take
that
it,
says,
yeah.
"Please do take my lemons." But when a man puts or a person puts a sign on that says, "Please don't take my lemons," you don't take those lemons.
Yeah, you're not like,
You don't-
I'm not that interested
Yeah,
in lemons.
yeah,
I can get
exactly.
lemons elsewhere.
Yeah.
I was walking somewhere on the east side recently, and we had to like walk under a bridge, and there was, like a grassy strip next to the sidewalk, between the sidewalk and the road, and then another grassy strip between the sidewalk and like the wall that then became under the bridge.
Okay.
And first of all, you got to be on your P's and Q's when you're walking under a bridge in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
There can be some interesting characters under there. And you could tell that they had just recently sort of like not allowed people to be under the bridge. But the thing that they hadn't done is like all of the vegetation was just like grown up like crazy, and it's sort of like an apocalyptic way. Like no one has thought to just bring a weed whacker out here.
Okay.
And then I started thinking about, because I saw this TikTok video of a guy going out with his buddies and like fixing a pothole somewhere. I don't know if it was somewhere in another country or was somewhere in America, I don't know. But it was like, okay, the city's not doing anything about this pothole. So here we are. We've got the stuff to fix a pothole, and it's our community. We're gonna go out and fix this pothole. They go out, they fix the pothole, and then people are driving by and giving the thumbs up, like you saved the day, right? And I was like, that's a wonderful thing. And I was like, if I lived in this neighborhood, could we be like, hey, we all have to walk under this bridge to get to like the strip where the restaurants are and all this stuff. Like, let's just collectively buy a weed whacker. We'll keep it at Dale's house.
Yeah, Dale doesn't have to use it.
Or maybe you use it, you weed whack like once a week, and then you take it to the person on the next person on the list.
Oh.
Like, don't you like? I know there are probably communities that do this kind of thing, and maybe I'm just re-deriving a homeowners association. But it would mean nobody pays for it. It's like, okay, we'll go in together and we'll buy the weed whacker or whatever, and then it would be like, this little area is so nice.
See, that's what I'm doing. I'm civic minded. I'm trimming your hedge, and you don't even have to ask.
Well, soon there's going to be a sign that's going to say, "Please don't trim my bush."
Yeah.
It's going to be on that.
And
bush.
then I'm gonna have to go talk to him.
And then we're gonna put that on a T-shirt.
Because we'll put something on a T-shirt. I don't know if we mentioned that we have these.
Our new Mythical Funny Pages collection just dropped, featuring 2 classy tees and a tote. Shop it now at mythical.com.